What's up, guys? As always, we are bringing you the LFR guides, and I'm going to have Aki bringing me the Throne of Thunder guides along with me. Aki, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, my man.
Good. And typically, guys, from the feedback I got from the first couple of LFR guides that we did, was just some quick overall strategies. Now remember, if you guys want more in-depth strategies for any of these bosses, go ahead and I am putting out guides for every single boss individually. The point of these LFR guides is, again, just give you a quick overview of each fight, of what you really need to watch out for, and what will actually kill you in LFR and what won't. If there's not something you worry about and it's not mentioned, it probably means it won't kill you. So let's get right into it. The first fight is Jinrock.
The electric man.
The electric bitch. He doesn't... In LFR, from what I saw, at least, and again, guys, the footage that you're watching is just me and a pug testing out a fire spec. Literally a full pug, just because I wanted to put myself in your guys' shoes, so that you knew exactly what you were going to encounter when we were doing this. And really, I didn't see anything outside of normal mode. Pretty much the only thing you really need to do is, if you get focus lightning on you, just run out of the ooze puddle. Obviously, when you first pull the boss, you just tank him wherever he is for a little bit, and eventually he's going to chuck a tank into a corner. Once he chucks the tank, you'll see a little pool kind of spawn down there. You want to get in this pool, okay? It gives you a damage and a healing increase, and it's really... If you're trying to do optimal DPS or optimal healing, you just want to stack in that. The only time you need to move is, again, if you're get focus lightning on you. And then once he starts casting lightning storm, you just get out of that pool. Typically, it's good to stand in the middle and stack up for healing. And then you just rinse and repeat this the entire fight. Aggie, I don't think there's much else for Jinrock, but...
Nah, I think that's pretty much it. As long as you are aware when you get focus lightning on you, and you make sure that when it explodes on you that you're not inside that grey puddle, you'll be right as brain.
Yeah, and it's one of those fights where it just really is just a tank and spank pretty much in LFR, and I hate to say that because everyone goes, oh, there's no strategy. Well, that's kind of all you do. I mean, unless you get that one ability on you, you really don't need to do anything else. You just stay.
Yeah, it's a very, very easy introductory fight. I think it was a much easier of all the introductory fights, really, for the...
Yeah, the only one I can think of that might have been...
Dogs.
I was going to say either Dogs. Dogs was harder than this easily. I was going to say, what was the one from Dragon Soul? That might have been...
Morchok?
Yeah, Morchok I think was probably the easiest LFR fight in the game. That was the only one I could think of that would be even remotely this easy. But again, guys, you should not have a problem with this fight at all, okay? You're just not going to have that happen. If we move into the second fight, we have Horadon. And this fight is... I like to compare this LFR fight to Will of the Emperor, okay? And the reason I say that is because... what you do is you have this big guy who you don't want to tank towards the raid. You want to keep him sideways away from the doors so that when he does his behind and his front cone attack, that it's not smashing the raid, okay? But typically the biggest thing that you can do is if you're trying to get through the LFR, you're going to see guys doing insane amounts of DPS, and the reason is because they're tunneling into the boss, they're not killing ads. Don't be that guy. Be the pro who kills the ads. The biggest thing you need to do is get these ads down, especially when the Dinomancer comes out. The Dinomancer is your #1 priority. When that spawns, you need to get him down ASAP so that you can click on the orb, have him smash into the door, and then you literally go around the room and rinse and repeat. But the biggest problem that you're going to run into in this LFR fight, I guarantee it, is going to be there's not going to be people killing the ads. They're just literally tunneling the boss. The other day when me and Aki went in there, they had wiped 4 times in a row on Horadon. Because we got in there, we had the 80, what was it, 80 or 40% buff?
But yeah, it was 40%, I think, at that time.
40% buff. And that's the other nice thing, guys, is you don't want to leave now when you wipe. Because when you wipe in LFR now, you actually get a buff that increases your health, your damage, and your healing. So make sure that you're sticking it out. Try to explain things if you see, as you're pulling trash through to the next boss, because you're going to have that tank who just runs in and pulls. It's LFR, it's going to happen, right? So as you're running through trash, just type out the strat real quick. Just say, hey, we need to make sure we're killing ads, face the boss away, blah, 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 and then it's pretty much GG. But Aki, go into this one a little bit more, like, ad-wise. We don't need to go into real depth with the ads, but yeah.
Yeah, it's... like I said, I mean, the way I explained it to the people, given when we first did it, was there's when you go to each door, there's always something that you have to move out of, something that you have to dispel, and something that you have to kill. So if like for the first door, you've got the sand puddles. You don't stand in those. It's the same with all of them. There's like poison puddles. There's like frozen orbs and what is it, totems on the last one? I think it is.
Yeah.
So as long as you're avoiding those, you're going to make life a lot easier for your healers. The dispelling one isn't too bad in LFR. I mean, if your healers dispel it, they dispel it. If they don't, they don't. But then you've got your sort of like primary kill targets, which will be the ones that are putting those dots out, or the ad above all else is the Dynamancer, the guy that controls that has that orb when you get him to 50%, that allows you to smash hard on into the door and stop the ads from coming out. Obviously, the less ads you have to deal with, the easier that fight gets. So if you're not going to worry too much about doing damage on hard on, because he's going to get like a 200% damage taken buff at the end where you just burn him. So
yeah. And that's the main thing, guys. It's all about killing the ads, and in LFR, the ads don't have a ton of health. So if you have if your ranged DPS is switching to them, if everybody switches, you're back on the boss in no time, realistically, but that's not going to happen. But if you're consciously making the effort to do the strategy right, and there's 4 or 5 other people who are doing it right with you, you're actually going to be fine, okay? The biggest thing, like Aki said, is it's going to go ads, then boss, then you switch to the next door, switch to the next door, switch to the next door, and you're just dragging the boss around the room. As Aki said, each door that he slams into, the boss now takes 50% additional damage, and this stacks. So by the time you're done, he has a 200% damage intake so you're just doing tons and tons of DPS on this fight. It's a really, really good fight, guys. The only other thing that you really need to know is, like he was saying, stay out of poison on the floor, stay out of lightning totems, and stay out of the frozen orbs. That's the biggest thing, is don't stand in poo, kill the ads, and then another big ad will spawn, you kill that ad, then you finish killing the boss, and it's literally GG. That's all you have to do. If you can do those things, second boss, not a big deal, but it's actually a really fun encounter. Horadon is actually one of my favorite encounters that Blizzard made in this tier. I love the fight. Absolutely love the fight. Just there's ads, there's like huge damage bonus at the end. It's just good. Like, it's got everything that a DPS wants. You get to multi-dot.
He's a pretty cool looking dinosaur too. Yeah. I gotta admit.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you can fight a dinosaur with machine guns, I'm in on that every time.
Awesome.
Alright, guys, moving on to the third boss, and this is going to be the Council of Elders. And this fight, there is 4 different ads, or 4 different bosses. They do not share a health pool. In LFR, from what I've seen, you can literally tank them all on top of each other. It's not recommended, but you can actually zerg them down that way. The biggest thing that you want to do is keep the High Priestess away from the rest of the group, and then the charge guy just kind of does his thing all over the room, so don't worry about him. The biggest thing that you want to do, guys, is whenever one of the ads turns all dark and like shadowy, kind of, I guess.
Shadowy, yeah, like he gets shadow respawn.
Yeah, and then you just drain 25% of his life, and it'll switch, and you just keep killing the bosses in that order. The High Priestess, the reason that she's tanked away is because she spawns an ad, and if it makes it to the boss, it heals the boss. Now in LFR, I don't think that it's that big of a deal, because the ad, when we were doing it in the pug, literally died almost instantly, because we had 3 or 4 pretty good ranged DPS in that pug that were just nuking the ad every time it came out. So it wasn't a huge deal. In your group, if it's not, they can be slowed, but just make sure that you're killing that ad from the Priestess, and then you're killing the correct target that's all shadowy and bubbly. What else there? Don't stand in quick stand. What am I missing?
That's pretty much it. Yeah, like he goes, so like each one of the bosses gets empowered, and you have to kill 25% of his HP to make him not be empowered before he starts doing his really overpowered move. So you just switch your focus around. You can like double dot, like keep your dots up on all the other ads if you have dots, but you should be focusing on the one that looks like that's in a shadow form. What else is there really? The ball guy, the one that's like spins around in the ball. The only damage you take is if you're at the end of the ball, like where he's going to end up. Like if you're in his path, you're not going to take any damage.
And even in normal mode, I didn't take that much damage because I got hit by one.
Yeah. He only knocks you back if you're at the end of his charge, so you don't have to worry too much about that. There's a frost debuff, which I don't think does a lot of damage in LFR. So, and then there's the priest, which, like Nash said, the biggest thing with this guy is just make sure that you kill the ads that he spawns. And when he's empowered and he summons the ad, it'll be like a shadow panther, and that'll pick a random ranged person. And if it reaches them, it will one-shot you. So you obviously want to kill it before it reaches that person so that they don't die.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just the general stuff. Stay out of anything that looks bad. Heal, kill your certain targets, dot everything, go crazy.
Yeah, and it really... And I hate to make the strategy sound that easy for LFR, but remember, guys, this was the very first week, the very first day that this stuff was out. Okay? You do need a 480 item level to get in here, but you can literally down this stuff with any pug group. It doesn't matter as long as people are doing their jobs. So like I said, as I always like to preach when I do these LFR videos, is make sure that you're, you know, if you're typing out the strategy as you're going to the boss, even if people hate you and they think you're a D-bag for typing out the strategy, at least they read it, and if they read it, they'll probably do it. That's the biggest thing is, you know, just yelling noob and saying kick this guy because he doesn't know what he's doing isn't going to help, because a lot of people who go into LFR, obviously you're not one of them because you're watching a video, but keep in mind that you're not everybody. So try to help everybody out. If you do the mechanics right, don't worry about cheesing the meters. Just do the mechanics right. Get your loots, get your valor, and then move on to the next one. And that's really the easiest way to explain it, especially in these first three. Aki, anything else we got before we go?
No, I think that pretty much covers everything. But the fights get a lot more fun after those. If you're strictly just doing LFR, wait till you see some of the upcoming fights. They're really a lot of fun.
There's I'm curious to see what they do with Tortos and Dark Animus. Like, I want to see how they handle some of these fights in LFR. Even GQ, dude, that'll be a cool one to see in LFR.
Oh yeah, the big bird. Yeah, you guys are gonna love it, man. It's a really, really, really well done instance.
And keep in mind, guys, this coming Tuesday will be another LFR that comes out. They're releasing another 3, so me and Aki will get the next video out to you probably, hopefully, sometime Tuesday or late Wednesday, depending on our raid schedule. We will try to get that out for you as well. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and as always, see you in the next one.